the late Sydney Banks and also the late Roger Mills came over to the UK. And then I would like to say I was really touched and it really changed my life, but to be honest it didn't initially, but it did get me curious. At the time, as a bit of a background, I'd spent a fortune and an awful long time learning various mind technologies and techniques to more Eastern philosophies like Tai Chi, Qigong and meditation. So when I first came across it, I saw it as another thing to do, another good approach, another way of helping my clients. I didn't really see the principles as principles, I saw them as an approach. And so I remember I was in a hotel in London, I was talking to Sydney Banks and Dr. Roger Mills, and I could see that I was full, like my head was full. I kind of thought that I knew it already and I couldn't really hear anything different, but there's something about it. There's something about it, I can't put it into words, but on an intuitive level I knew I just had to hang in there or stay in the conversation, as Michael Neal says. And so I did hang in there. And so I was talking to Sid and Roger and they saw that I was full and they said, Rudy, go away, don't think about any of this stuff and just go and enjoy your life, which I did. And at some stage, I think to be honest it was a couple of months later, I just got that much of an inkling as to what they were talking about. I couldn't put it into words, I couldn't talk about it, but I had changed. And I hadn't really noticed, but people around me said that I was softer, said that, to be honest, I was less egotistical, said that I was less competitive, said that I was less self-obsessed. And so I hung on in there, and then I attended the first training of trainers, as Roger used to call it then, in the UK, kept hanging on in there. And then the more exposure I got to this, I'm honestly saying the more my humanity, it may not even be humble to say this, but my more humbleness, more kindness, more well-being started to live more in that. And it was more of a case of it finding me without me trying to do anything to get that. It was really opposing to what I'd learned as a coach. And so, to cut a long story short, fast forward 3 years ago, I got so hit by this, and so did my wife, and actually so did my father-in-law, so did my sister-in-law. Basically our whole family up here in East Anglia got so touched by this that I had the crazy idea to start Three Principles movies, because I wanted to really document the potential, the power, the results of this, because at that stage there wasn't really anything online. Anyway, I'll tell my story about that another time, because this is an interview. And so now what we do is we run N8 Wellbeing, which is a principle-based company that really trains members of the public. We've spoken to schools, to organisations, to health professionals, and we run courses and training for people who like to live it deeper within their own lives, or maybe want to use it more on a professional level.